Fernando Ruiz art. Hi everybody. Today we're looking at Polar Boy. This is Polar Boy from DC Comics' The Legion of Superheroes. If you've been following me on Facebook and Instagram, you know I've been posting this series of the Legionnaire of the Day, where every day I draw and color a different character from the Legion of Superheroes. And I sort of slacked off. I've been busy with other work. So I've kind of fallen off from posting a Legionnaire of the Day, but I've gotten back into it the last couple of days. So Polar Boy will be going up tomorrow. If you're watching this today being Tuesday, Polar Boy should be going up on the social media on Wednesday. And he's drawn in pencil, colored with Copics, inked, and a little white paint for some of these snow effects. Okay, now that's our show and tell segment for today. Oh, a little something else. I think I've shown this one before. I think I've shown, this is a Betty commission. And actually the purchaser just wanted Betty, but I gave him Hot Dog and Archie just because I felt like drawing Hot Dog and Archie. But I may be coloring Betty sometime this week as one of our videos here. So if you'd like to see that, let me know. Let me know in the comments section below, because Betty, well, she's showing off a lot of skin here, so I figured she'd be a good candidate for skin tones and blonde hair. And maybe while I'm at it, I may do a little Hot Dog too. Okay, so that's what's coming up. Now today, I thought we would talk about something very common, which is the face. How to draw a human face, your average human face. Now, and specifically, I want to talk about the famous, the legendary face grid, or at least my version of it. Now, the first thing we got to do, of course, for a face is to draw a head. And for my head, what I like to start out with is a very basic oval, like we see here. Just kind of this upside down egg shape. And this is where you're going to find a lot of differences between all the different face grids that are out there. And if you do any sort of research into this, if you read different art books, take different classes, you'll probably find that each source has its own version of this grid. Most likely, whoever you're learning it from did what I did, which is to study a lot of different face grids and fuse the best points of each one into your own system. And that's what I do, and I think that's really how most of us end up doing it. So what I like to do is the sort of this soft oval. Sometimes some systems you'll see what they would rather do is start out with a perfect sphere and kind of attach this squared off jaw piece. I believe this is what we see in How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way, John Buscema's method. And I think Andrew Loomis may have done that too. I prefer the oval just because it's a little bit softer and more organic. And you can customize this more easily than I think you could this. This kind of locks you into the square-jawed look, but this could be anything. But okay, once I've drawn my oval, what I want to do is draw a line that cuts it in half. That goes right down the center of my oval. And you don't have to measure. You could just eyeball it. Once I've divided my oval in half, I want to divide the two halves in half. Okay? So what I've done is I've divided my oval into quarters. And again, I'm not measuring this out. I'm not getting very mathematical about it. I'm just eyeballing it. Once I've divided my oval vertically like this, what I want to do next is to divide it horizontally right across the center, or as close to the center as I can eyeball it. Then that lower half, I want to divide that in half. Again, not being too rigid about that halfway mark. And then that lower quarter that I'm left with, that I want to divide in half as well. And that's my grid. This is my roadmap to the human face. This is what is going to tell me where all the different features should go. So this first line, this first horizontal line that I made, this is going to be my eye line. This is going to be where my eyes are going to go. So I'm going to follow that line, and where it intersects the first vertical line, that's going to be where one eye is going to go. Okay. I'm going to keep going on that line, go right through that center intersection, and when I come to that third intersection, this is where my other eye is going to go. Now, a lot of you may know the rule of your eyes should be one eye length apart. And this isn't a written in stone type of rule, because you always have to allow for all sorts of variations of biology. So it's not unusual to have people with their eyes a little closer together or perhaps a little further apart. But this very loose rule of thumb just keeps us somewhere in the realm of the human species. Okay, so that is where my eyes are going to go. Then my next line, that is my nose line. And what I want to do here is I want to follow that line right to that center intersection. And that's where my nose is going to go. Okay, that's where the forward ball of my nose is going to go. The bridge is going to come right down from my eye line. Then I'm going to have the two nostrils on either side of that forward ball. Now the nose can really deviate wildly from the grid just because there's lots of different shapes to noses out there. And you could have a very long nose, you could have a very broad nose, a sharp nose, a broken nose, lots of different noses. But once again, the grid just keeps us somewhere in a consistent realm with human beings. So, you know, don't freak out if the nose you're drawing tends to come down a little bit longer, or ends a little bit shorter, or maybe is a little broader. That's not unusual. So now this brings us to the last horizontal line, and this is the mouth line. Now here, what I want to do is I want to follow that mouth line to that first intersection. And this is where the mouth is going to start. It's going to curve up. It's going to dip down in the middle, dip up again, and come down to that third intersection, directly below the center of your eyes. And that's my upper lip, and the lower lip just comes down, goes across, and goes up again. So that is the placement of my features. And I could probably do a video on drawing each feature, and I may just do that. But I wanted today just to show you placement. Now, between the eye and the nose line, that's where your ears are going to go. So I'm going to put my ears in place. And now that my ears are in place and I've got my features in place, I will play with the shape of my oval. And I may tailor the oval so that if I'm drawing a more square-jawed character, I'm going to give him a squarer jaw. I'm going to fill out his cranium, you know, the shape of his head. Make sure he's got enough of a skull going on there. And for the placement of the neck, I usually follow the line of the jaw. And once the jaw curves in, that's when I'll start my neck. follow the line of the jaw, curve in, start my neck. And of course, I will tailor that too. If I'm drawing a more heftier, really massive guy, I may come out more and give him a thicker neck. If I want a longer, more slender neck, I may come in a little bit more, make the neck a little longer. It all depends on the type of character, type of person I'm trying to draw. But that's really how I lay out the face. Now, one thing I would recommend doing is really practice that face grid and really practice, and this could probably be another video, is drawing all the different angles, but really practice having that grid turn in whatever direction the face is turning. We have to envision that grid as though it's this permanent tattoo on the face. And whichever way the head turns, the grid rolls with it. And that's going to allow us to really place our features no matter which way our characters, our subjects are facing. The other thing too is this grid that I'm showing you is best for your average real person. If I'm drawing somebody cartoonier, like say Archie, and Archie I always did draw him on a sphere rather than an oval. With Archie, I just start with sort of this plus sign rather than the full grid that I just showed you. And that's because Archie really, you know, he's a cartoon character and he defies humanity. He defies the laws of anatomy and physics. So Archie is on his own set of rules. But I still use somewhat of a grid just to stay consistent with the character so that when I draw him, his eyes aren't moving all over his face and his head isn't changing shape. And there's just overall consistency. Okay, so that is my face grid. I hope this helps you guys. Again, you know, if you look up different face grids out there, I bet if you look at a ton of videos on YouTube for different face grids, you're gonna see a lot of variations. There is not a right or wrong here. It's really in what you are comfortable doing, what gives you the best results, which way you enjoy. That's why I always encourage people, try them all, you know, practice them all and see what you like and see what works best for your drawings. I hope this helps. If there are any questions at all, and there's probably questions, I'm sure, please post them down below. I answer everything personally. And if you enjoyed the video, please click like. That helps. Consider subscribing and always hit that bell. All right, thanks a lot, everybody, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.